family doing right now?
Uh, well, we're the lucky ones because we live on a higher floor from the ground level. Really, our home is safe and virtually untouched. That's not the same for my downstairs neighbors, and of course, all the towns all around us. So,
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures from the streets. It looks awful with tons of cars upended, mud and debris everywhere. I mean, what have you been seeing?
well, of course, yeah, everything at street level for all these towns. Just to give you an idea of the area that we're talking about, would be say the about the size of half of Winnipeg, uh, being completely under 2 to 3 meters of rushing water. All of a sudden, like a tsunami, but from the interior, where the rains came down from the mountains all of a sudden, and then just overflowed the rivers and just completely flooded. And it happened in less than an hour with no warning.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. Yeah, that's so
so,
sudden. How do you handle something like an onslaught of water like that?
well, as you can see, you don't, you really can't fight the nature of the water at that point. You just do whatever you can immediately, and we've never seen anything like this. The last huge flood here was in '57, and some 80 people died, and that resulted in a huge diversion of the main river of the city. And you can see this is far, far higher casualties because people weren't expecting anything like this to happen. So they tried to remove their cars from garages and move it to higher water. And yeah, that just became a death trap for so many people. And it was just pure devastation, like nothing I've ever seen. It just looked like a war zone.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess the instinct is to save your car, but in cases like this, saving yourself might be more important. So,
Yeah, just people were given no time to react.
yeah, and in fact, if you go to our CBC Manitoba YouTube channel right now, you can see some of these pictures streaming, and a lot of it is all these vehicles piled up and overturned and, rammed into each other. I guess that, describing what you said, people going to their cars when the water first started. How is the rain going now? Has it stopped yet?
No, well, right now we're getting a reprieve, so we're on the coast here, and the thing with Valencia is that it's sunny like 320 days out of the year. This is absolutely incredibly perfect climate to live in. And these kind of things can happen where we get harsh rainstorms, but never anything like this. But the rain isn't letting up either. So in the evenings, we're getting storms still. They're calling it Dana, right? That is just kind of swirling in around. It's hit the south of Spain. It's now hitting Barcelona. And it just seems to be no reprieve. So yesterday, really hampering the ability for volunteers, which have been overwhelmingly incredible help. All the volunteers from the city of Valencia and from outside of Valencia coming in to assist, because really they've made the biggest difference. It's people helping each other more than anything have made the biggest difference in this.
Yeah. And you mentioned your neighbors downstairs not faring as well. You've got friends in Valencia. How is everyone doing?
Well, it really, really depends where you were. So yeah, the evening that this happened, I live on the upper floor. My house is the upper half of a home here in Valencia. Our downstairs neighbors and an 89-year-old woman with two cats, right? So her house instantly flooded, and we couldn't get the front door open because of the water pressure. By that time, the water was at about 1.8 meters. So we jumped over the wall of our interior patios and had to get her out that way. But if you can imagine, by the time that we had managed to pull her from her house, the waters were nearly at my head, and I'm 6'3". So it
Oh,
was very, very high and muddy, horrible water, like swimming through a sewer. So what we're seeing is a lot of these situations where, that day was a nightmare, and a lot of the elderly were the most affected by that.
Wow,
So
you
what
took
we're
a
doing
chance
now,
there. Like that must have been terrifying jumping in the water like in those conditions.
yeah, but in Spain, the relationships between family and neighbors are very, very familiar. So like everyone kind of knows each other. You know your neighbors really, really well. You don't really think about anything other than trying to help the people that are around you. And now it's the same thing. So it's all neighbors helping each other. This morning, school calls out and says, "Hey, today at 9, we're gonna try to clean up. Let's see if we can at least have a place where like the kids could be." And yeah, everyone that has kids there or other schools, and just go from block to block, just helping each other as much as you can, because the government's really doing the absolute minimum to offer assistance. Friday was the first time we've even seen any kind of response from government work, and really the volunteers have been the ones making a difference.
Yeah, so it makes me think about food and water. Like, how are people being supported in that way?
Yeah, that really goes from town to town, from block to block. We were very fortunate here that within about 48 hours, we had electricity. And then about 15 hours after, we had water. The water was coming in at first at a trickle. Now, especially in the evening, we can shower, we can clean again. But other towns are not so good. We have some friends in the neighboring town of Catarroja, which only got a trickle of water coming through now, finally last night. But a real salute to the electrical companies and the water companies, the phone companies. They're really out there 24 hours a day, trying to get everyone up and connected. When I saw the devastation, I didn't think that we were going to have electricity again for weeks. And really, I was shocked when within 48 hours we were back up and online.
I'm
So,
really glad, and we've got a good connection with you now. But before we go, we're running out of time now, Javier. What message would you want to send people listening, about the current situation right now in Spain?
yeah, the situation is awful. The people, though, are really, really making a big difference. And there's a lot of groups like the Spanish Red Cross that are really helping out, and the fire departments. If anyone wants to try to make donations to things like the Red Cross, they will come in very handy, I'm sure, because this is a huge, huge disaster here, and a lot of towns are affected. There's also a lot of resources if you have people that are missing to reach out, and there's an ongoing effort to try to make sure that families are reconnected, because of course there's still a lot of areas which there's no communication, they can help find those connections for people.
Well, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us, and all the best for you and your family. Hope you stay safe.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Javier De Roque is a former Winnipegger living in Valencia, Spain. We reached him over Zoom.